Aquí estamos haciendo radio.
Everything can change in the blink of an eye.
Todo puede cambiar.
What would you do when seconds matter?
Cada segundo cuenta.
Are you ready? Welcome to the RDA Show, where we discuss facts and myths of defense in America. And now, Tony, Damien, and Marco. The RDA Show, presented by CTU Federal Academy.
Bienvenidos amigas y amigos al The RDA Show, donde estaremos hablando todo lo referente a defensa personal, los mitos y los hechos que nos vemos todos los días. Conmigo se encuentra Marco Díaz.
Hello.
Hola Marco, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Damien Yates.
Hello everybody.
Y tenemos dos invitados especiales que están el día de hoy. La autoridad máxima, en mi opinión, aquí en la Florida, Jason Rodríguez.
Good evening, thanks.
Ramirez, right? Ramirez. Jason Ramirez.
No, Rodriguez.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna tell you why he said that. I'm gonna tell you the story behind
Okay.
that.
All right. Yeah, because sometimes you say Ramirez, Rodriguez, so
I'm gonna tell you the story behind
like
that.
my daughter say, it's the same thing. No, just kidding. Anyway, also we have otra invitada especial que es Gigi Mahfouz. Ella representa a la compañía New York Life y está aquí para hablarnos también acerca de lo que ella considera y hablarnos de la parte de defensa como mujer. Demian.
Buenas noches.
Buenas, ¿cómo estás?
Hello.
Demian, les quiero decir que él habla 100% inglés, 10% español, pero vamos a tratar de hacer todo que todos podamos entender. Y Marco, pues va a ser nuestro traductor cuando lo necesitemos. Well, Damian, let's start with you before we start with our guest.
Okay.
Which is, he have a lot to talk, but I wanted to just start saying, why do you think that we start this show, and what is the benefit for our public, our audience?
Wow, that's whew. Well, we started the show, to give what we do a voice, so people can understand. Some people get the bad light of what we do and how we do it as far as self-defense, responsible defense.
Okay.
So I think starting the show is going to give a better light on how to really be responsible with the self-defense, and I think it's just all shoot 'em up. Oh, I can do this, I can do that.
Because many people think that when we talk in defense, it's automatically go to guns or something like that, and it's not that way. Marcus, what do you think about it? And that's why you join and why you train.
Yo quiero acotar algo muy importante que dijo Damian. Es parte de lo que hemos estado haciendo. Una palabra que abarca casi todo. Responsable. Training. Tú le dices a la gente, ¿cada cuánto haces los entrenamientos? O no lo hacen, o le disparan a un papel. Eso no es un training.
The training is not only shooting to the steady paper.
Tienes que saber cuándo tú vas a usar un arma y cuándo no puedes usar un arma. Un defense no es siempre, yo tengo un arma, yo En las películas puede ser.
Y las películas no dicen todo, realmente.
No dicen todo.
Si te guías por las películas, yo no creo que es la forma más responsable de defenderse.
Exactamente.
Además que en las películas, like you say, Damian, on movies, what we see is something very cool, people moving, shooting, stuff like that. And by the way, when they get hit, they go to the bed with usually their friends, and they, they saw the thing, they take the bullet out, and they keep running, and that's not the reality. And that's something that we can't promote. We have to guide the people in the right way, and they understand the
Absolutely. Given the understanding.
responsibilities.
Given the understanding that.
And that's the reason.
What you see in the movies is not what you're going to do in real life. It's not the same.
It's not the same. And that's the reason why we bring Jason, which is also our trainer. We go every week.
The GOAT.
We can say he's our master.
The GOAT.
And as we were talking the other day, we have different personalities. We have a wolf, a lion. I don't want to say my personality. No.
Tony can say it.
No.
You can say it.
The Tony-nator.
But that goes with the personalities, you know. So it's very important that you know your own personality and train to overcome whatever that personality is holding to do, and develop another skills, taking care of another personalities or another group of people. Jason, welcome. And then I believe that you are the master here right now. Tell us about your background and give us a little bit of the feedback why you start training.
Okay, so thank you all for having me, and welcome listeners from South Florida. Hopefully we'll see you out at Unlimited Tactical Solutions, our training program here in Hialeah. We have a warehouse that's about the size of a Publix. Within that warehouse, we have a town built indoors, and that's where we're able to do our force-on-force training, or our gunfight defense training. There are a lot of terms you're going to hear that are applied to the type of training that we go over, depending on who the observer is. Okay, but in the end, it has to do with responsible gun defense. Okay. And there are a lot of myths and facts. That's one of the beauties about this show, and that's why I'm glad that I'm able to participate. The best way to do it is to do projectile sparring, and ultimately that's what we're doing. Some of my background includes mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu, a variety of combative arts. I'm a close quarter combatives instructor, firearms instructor, active shooter instructor. I can go on and on and on about the less lethal, the baton, the handcuffing, all the different things that I do. In the end, what I project myself to be is a coach, because a toaster comes with instructions. That's
Right.
not what I'm doing. Okay,
Right.
and you guys know that because you've experienced it, and you experience it weekly.
There's a big difference between the instructions and coaching. You know, instruction
Very,
you follow something.
very big
Coaching, you guide the people to. Of course, you're gonna get some instruction,
Sure.
but you guide them in the right way and make them better, not just follow instructions like that.
Sure, and we'll use the term instructor because the general population recognizes instructor. But once you're involved in the training, you'll get to experience the benefits of dealing with a coach. And even amongst us, we all end up becoming better coaches. I surround myself purposely with coaches because I know that if I have to step out of the picture for a second, I know one of my coaches can jump in and apply essential material, essential information, and they can speak for the program. And,
Right.
and that's what we're doing. Professionally, I have over 25 years of law enforcement experience behind me as well. And the beauty about that is it allows us to separate law enforcement training from civilian training. Civilians,
different.
right? Civilians need a whole different arsenal, a whole different way of thinking, a way of processing, so that they can be responsible gun carriers and responsible defenders. And that's what my goal, that objective is threaded through all the material that I go over, and you guys know that.
We see it. We see it.
We experience.
I do. I see it.
And from the beginning, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I used to train with military people. Then they go in a way to, they're actually, when they go, they're not defending, they're actually going mostly attacking
On
or
offense.
on a mission or something like that. But when I get my first day, something that I'll never forget, I was with Jason and all his team of students started going after shooter, and then I go after the guy, thinking that everybody's gonna be after the guy. And when I look at it on my back, everybody's taking cover, hiding, taking position to survive. And that's reality, you guys. And that's part of the responsibility that we have to teach. The fact that you have a gun is not gonna make you, law enforcement that have to go after the bad guy. First of all, you're gonna have family You have kids, friends, wife, girlfriend that probably is with you, and you have to think and react in a way that you can protect your loved ones. So that's basically what. Thank you, Jason, because that's something very important that I really learned from you.
Well said. I'm glad you brought that out. That's another element that's constant in the training. In the thought process for the student and being a responsible defender, you have to understand that your job is not to chase down the bad guy and capture him. That's not your job. Your job is to survive the confrontation. Obviously, if there's opportunities to where you can protect someone else, save someone else, help someone else, be resourceful, be helpful, yes, of course. But that's not your main objective. And when we're doing scenarios with newer students, some of these habits, some of these self-induced expectations, you'll see them on display. The beauty is that the tools that we use for gunfight defense are airsoft replicas, and they're airsoft weapons that are replicas of the real weapons.
Those work very good as a training gun.
Sure.
Because they are safe. Of course, it's not a live fire, so you don't gonna get you're gonna get hit, but
no permanent injury.
No lethal or permanent damage.
And it hurts.
Yeah, and it hurts. Well, that's one of the cool things about
the pain penalty.
The pain penalty. That's one of the beauties. Early on, when I first started training with munition type, marked munition tools, airsoft, UTM, paintball, simunition, there was no mistaking you got hit.
Right.
A lot of times, it's easy to say, well, you missed, or you didn't get me, this, that, and the other thing. And there's no real measure, and we can't capitalize and use that as a starting point when you're working with these marked munition tools. The airsoft has proven to be the most pocket-friendly product to use in this training because I can save money on the clients. I'm not looking to become rich off of the student base.
Right.
But we're growing together, and ultimately, when you come out to train with us and you see the authenticity, you see it's genuine, I know that we're gonna have a nice business relationship.
Right.
But that's not the sole purpose. That's a byproduct of what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is get people to the level where they can defend themselves, protect their property, guard themselves. And in today's climate with the active shooter and the way society is today, people think just because you disagree with them or you offend them, they think you can lash out at you and hurt you.
Right.
And that's where it comes back to the responsible gun carriers, responsible defenders, is allowing me to give you force-on-force situations to where you can use shooter discretion. Marco was speaking about that earlier, where you can myth bust some of the things that you see on a live fire range from moving around and picking angles, using cover, concealment, changing your levels, dealing with horizon and verizon obstacles, and pressure testing what we're teaching you. Because, yeah, of course, I'm teaching you techniques and tactics, but if I don't allow you to pressure test what you're learning, it's still just theory.
Right. So what you do is when you say pressure testing, means exactly that you're put in situations that go closer to the reality or above the reality.
Yeah, you'll see. It's funny how you spoke earlier about personalities.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I try to draw out of you is to develop training based on your personality, based on stimulus, based on the central nervous system, based on intuition. I cannot download everything that I know, upload it, and then you can choose and pick what you want. We have to find what's going to work for you, what your preferences are, what your traits are, what your speed, power, endurance, mindset. All these things are present. And what I have to do is I have to customize it to each individual student. At the same time, I have to work with everyone so that no one's sitting around. Typically, we go to the gun range, and for those that are on the range shooting, there's a limit on how many shooters you can have because of safety issues.
Okay.
That means the rest of the class has to sit down and watch.
But they use learning by watching still.
Sure. And so what I like to do to make sure that everybody is getting their invested time in training is that everyone is training together at the same time. So you'll see I come up with different scenarios where everybody has a role to play. And then even the mind frame of training has to be present. And over time that becomes obvious. But at first it's kind of a shocker. I'll give you an example. One of the things I'll see our new students do, and this can be someone that's been training with a gun maybe twice, and then I'll have people that have been training 20 years. Mm-hmm. They'll all do the same thing when they come into our class. When we go to the gun range, they'll take their guns and their ammo and their magazines, they'll place them on the table.
Which is a regular procedures under
Sure.
regular range, shooting range.
And they've done repetitions of that for many years, or those are trained behaviors. Well, guess what? The bad guy is not bringing a table so that you can rest these materials on. You're gonna have to learn how to carry that on you, how to do magazine exchanges in real life, on the move, standing still, behind cover, crouched down on the floor. You're gonna have to learn all these things, and even on our gun range, we restructure it so that it doesn't have the same feel of being on a gun range.
Right, okay. Well, it's important what you're saying, that some people start sitting, watching, and I remark that they're learning watching. And a proof of that is Damian's son, which is he's being assisting to, I don't know how many trainings, and he never, actually trained with us. But we tested, and Damian, you can tell us about it, right?
Yeah, I can tell you about that. Now, we were at the gun show, and Jason was giving one of his free lessons. So, we had the target, the laser target. So one of the people, he has us do certain things, and then he has one where you have someone stand in front of the target. And every time, the person that stands in front of the target stops and says, "Oh, I can't hit the target. There's someone there." So we give DJ the laser target gun, and we do it with him. And he moved out the way. He put the gun down, make sure he doesn't muzzle anybody. He moved by Jason. He moved by me. He moved by you, and hit the target with the laser. And I was in awe.
And very important, he moved in the right way that he's supposed to be moving. Very responsible way to handle the gun so that doesn't point to anybody, and he hit the target. And it's just watching us training.
And that's and Jason even say, man, he's been paying attention. Jason, that was the first thing Jason said. Jason said he's been watching, he's been paying attention.
Right, and that's the important thing that we do. This is not training for macho man, no solamente para hombres. Mucha gente depende de un hombre para defenderse, y ese es un gran error. La defensa debe ser en grupo, familiar, porque muchas veces tú puedes estar en situaciones donde tu esposa, y puedo hablar por la mía, que siempre está cuidándome, gracias Mariana, es increíble cuando tú tienes una pareja que entrena, entiende, y que en una posición de peligro sepa cómo va a reaccionar. Eso es otra de las cosas que aprendemos con Jason. Para mí, nosotros queremos que todos ustedes tengan la oportunidad, por lo menos de abrir un poquito más ese conocimiento acerca de lo que son las armas. Ayer estábamos hablando, no vamos a hablar aquí de política, pero escuchamos gente que realmente cuando habla de un tipo de arma u otro, realmente no saben lo que están diciendo, y esos mitos queremos quitarlos. Jason hace en las clases de Jason encontramos gente como Marco también, que es totalmente ha entrenado con Marco, pero no ha hecho entrenamiento militar tampoco. Sin embargo, tiene una personalidad que es súper calmada. Sigue y lleva a las personas nuevas a un nivel, porque él, con su personalidad de lobo, pues tiene cuidado de toda su manada. Y lo he visto a él hacer cosas increíbles, como poder escaparse de una situación, regresar y llevarse a la gente segura, porque no los deja solos. Y eso se aprende obviamente con entrenamiento. Y voy a citar algo que dice Jason: el cuerpo no va a ir a donde la mente no haya estado antes. Y yo quiero ahora que Marco también nos diga qué te motivó, cómo llegaste a donde Jason, y qué tú recomiendas a las personas para que se entrenen, o sea, y quiero también hacer una acotación: no es solamente armas, es defenderse, no solamente sacar un arma. Muchas veces, evitando el problema, te estás defendiendo y ganas una batalla sin tener que pelearla. Marco.
Déjame ir un poquito para atrás. Antes de entrar a entrenar con Jason, yo iba a los ranch con amigos, con personas cercanas, disparábamos, le damos al blanco, a veces no, a veces disparamos 10, le caían 2, a veces le caían las 10. A las finales, cuanto más íbamos, obviamente más nos acercábamos al bullseye.
Okay.
Y cuando ya estábamos
you used
cerca
to
del
go to the
bullseye,
range and training, and your grouping is getting close. Okay.
Y ya cuando le estábamos con el grouping muy cerca, ya éramos lo máximo.
Yeah, you feel that you are John Wick just because you hit on the center.
On a paper that doesn't move.
Right. Okay.
En el papel que no se mueve ni te va a disparar. Hasta que un día en el Miami Gun Show encuentro con el table y le pregunto, estaba Ryan y estaba Jason. Bueno. Y me da la información y yo voy a pasar por ahí a ver cómo es. Wow. That day they were doing in the city, in the back farmhouse. Me dicen, tienes que entrar. Adentro está un familiar tuyo, ya sea tu hijo, tu esposa.
That's what you say about pressure.
Sure.
Right.
Y bueno, yo no conocía la casa, yo no sabía quiénes estaban, yo no sabía cuántos estaban. Era mi primera vez que tenía un arma y que yo sabía que alguien más me iba a disparar. So, de pasar a un papel que no se mueve a tener que caminar por una casa que no conozco a sacar a un familiar mío.
Oof. No, yes, I've seen several times that when you make that pressure and you put a family of yours is in this situation, you have to go and get it. That changed the whole picture.
Sure.
And then you're an expert doing that.
That doesn't just change the picture. When he explained it, you could see people's faces change.
Oh.
You say, imagine your son, and you'll see their expression just change right there as he explaining it to him. And that's just you can tell that's pressure in itself.
So I encourage people to think that they have family. It's not getting a gun or learning how to defend yourself alone. You have a family that you have to teach at least the basics, so that way they can survive in any event. And when Jason said he made the pressure test, that's what you call it?
The pressure test.
And Marco validated. I wanted to hear what was the final on that experience.
Now, later on, they call me Wolf because I take care of whomever is in my group, in my family.
Nah, you the polar bear. Because you're in the cool. You just cool through the whole situation.
But I remember that day, and I remember very clear. I was going to just peeking in the door and fuck right here.
In the middle of your
in the middle of my face. Whoa. So I don't know who shot at me, but they took the shot. And I froze. I didn't know what to do. I was like, and Jason was behind me, and he said, "What are you doing? You have to get your child, you have to get your wife, your father, whomever, you have to do something." And then he started getting close to me, kind of pushing me inside. And either I thought, either I'm not for this or I have to go inside. And that really hurts because those bullets, like, when I went inside.
It gives you a lot of pain, but that's the penalty. I believe that everybody, when started, is getting like a minimum 20, 30 hits.
Oh yeah.
And eventually every day you see there's next 10, 5, and then you're reducing the possibility to get hit.
The beauty is the starting point. At first, yes, you're going to be susceptible. You're prone to get hit. That's the way it works. That's showing you what your limitations are. It's showing you where you're freezing, and more importantly, where you're choking. Because when we talk about stress response, fight, flight, freeze, there's 3, but there are 4 others. You need to come out to the class to get the 4 others.
Give us a little bit that, a hint.
But using Marco's example, Marco comes from a jiu-jitsu background, as do I.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And so I like to use Marco when we're demonstrating some close quarters.
Hurts a lot.
And I gotta thank Marco for that,
Yeah,
because he used to use me and I had nothing to do with it.
Now Marco is going to be my response student, okay? But you'll see that it allows you to really capture your personality and operate off of your personality. For example, Marco and I are more, as a coach, as an instructor, sometimes I have to do some public speaking. Yeah, I come out and do my thing, but that's not my nature. My nature is more of an introvert, to where, I don't like to do a lot of that. He and I share that in common.
Yes.
The beauty about that is, if I am going to use my personality to do whatever I need to do to defend myself, if it's true that I'm not going to be as flamboyant, as outgoing, I need to use that to create my element of surprise to counter whatever you're offering me in the level of threat, in the category of threat. And so, yeah, I've seen him grow. I've seen all of you grow to where Tony comes out and he's more aggressive, more offensive, but he's learned how to maximize that, how to optimize that. So yeah, if he's going to come out and be offensive, do it, use wise discretion on how you're operating, how you're going to impose yourself on others, if justified, if responsible, if sensible, if legal. These are things that I'm expecting you to do. I want you to do. I want you to play out these roles while we're doing scenarios, force on force. Now, Marco and I have a lot in common. Tony and I have a lot in common, because when I switch from subtle, when I turn it on, it has to be, you have to execute what you plan on doing. And there are a lot of training formulas that I'm not, we don't have time to talk about here. You need to come out to experience it. But
Right.
One of the elements is execution, and that's where you'll see that come out. But Damien and I have some things that we share in common as well. And you'll see a lot of the cunning traits, the deceiving traits, and how these things can be turned on and off with a lot of self-control. One of the things that I want all the listeners, I want you guys to understand this. I need people that understand that they are deficient in self-control under pressure. And then I need you to work on that self-control, because there's no way that you can control a scenario, force on force, responding to a threat responsibly, sensibly, legally. There's no way you can do that unless you have self-control. Even under pressure, even while you're being attacked, even while you're injured. And whether it's with a handgun, with pepper spray, with empty hands, doesn't matter. We need to also train psychologically, emotionally. And that's one of the things that Marco was bringing out when he froze there. Yeah, I had to give him a little nudge, but I know he has a warrior inside him. And all that I'm doing really is helping you find the valve for that and helping you release that.
Okay.
One of the things that I like to tell my students is, most of the people that I see come through are responsible gun carriers. They're responsible defenders. We're not out there robbing people and doing, that's not what we do. We're all professionals. We all have families, cares, disciplines. One of the things that I want you to always remember is you have the right to defend yourself. some come out and they don't understand that concept. They haven't justified that yet. They haven't rationalized that yet. You get to do it when we're out training in our Unlimited Tactical Solutions program, which is what we're doing here in Hialeah.
We're in Hialeah. Can you tell the audience? So
Give me 1 second. Let me get you the current address.
While he's looking for the address, let me just finish with, and the last active shooting that we did, and I was with a new person, a new lady, I don't remember her name right now, but she got so nervous, it reminded myself, and I had to take her out. And she was, my pistol is not firing, and every time I asked, I would take over and I asked for it to check it, and I was checking it, it was firing. But she was so nervous that she couldn't fire. And we went through the whole stage, we almost get out of there, and when it finished, something that I never forget is that she said, "Oh wow, you're good," because I was able to take her out. So since the beginning that I froze, till now that I'm able and I'm capable to carry someone out, and I don't mean like carrying her, but walking with her, and have her protect, have her safe, that's amazing.
That's volume.
Thank
Awesome.
you, Jason.
Awesome.
Not-
Volume.
Privilege.
we all four guys talking, but we have a lady here, a guest. She's like I say, she represents New York Life, and she also is a student with Jason. And I wanted to hear about her story and why you become. What do you recommend to the audience to do, and your experience?
As a in the classes with Jason.
Yes.
Right? Yes.
And why you decide to
What
start
I
doing
decided
something
because
like
I
this?
think it's important to know how to defend in the street. For example, in your house, if you're in your house alone, you don't have your husband, or you don't have a gun. Maybe you have it, maybe you don't have it. You need to know how to react.
And that's important.
Possible, like Jason said, Damien said.
Let me just make a little pause because I just wanted to say we're talking a lot of guns over here, but it's not only that Jason teach. He teach you how to defend yourself against somebody that have a gun. You don't have any.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're talking about self-defense, it doesn't mean that you have to have a gun. Like you pointed, that's a great point. And as a woman,
And as a woman, as a woman, you have more risks in the street than a man. And
Yes,
you have to, yes, and I don't know. You need to know how to react. You need to know how to maybe get help or to get down the man.
right?
Yeah.
Because I know that probably most American women also are kind of aware of that, but some people that are coming from South America, and we have many in Florida. ¿Qué tú les puedes decir? Si se los puedes decir en español, me gustaría, porque sería bueno que ellas entiendan la razón por la cual tú estás entrenando, por qué decidiste tomar estas clases y cuál es la responsabilidad que
Primero buenas noches a todas. Primero como mujer y como persona, pero sobre todo como mujer porque somos más indefensas en el mundo, ya que no somos el sexo débil, pero sí somos muchas veces más pequeñitas.
Podemos ver eso.
Y por lo tanto necesitamos aprender técnicas de defensa, técnicas de cómo reaccionar, de si la persona tiene un arma o no la tiene, si nosotros llevamos el arma o no lo llevamos, qué hacer con el arma, porque podemos tener un arma en la cartera y no saber utilizarlo.
Y muchas veces no es el mejor lugar para tenerla.
Exactamente, y hay muchas mujeres que llevan el arma en la cartera y llevan el arma pero no se han adiestrado. Es lo que estábamos hablando antes, que necesitamos un adiestramiento, un uso responsable de las armas y el saber reaccionar ante una situación de estrés, como puede ser un ataque personal o...
And the right to bear arms is in our Constitution, so that's something that we have to preserve. Not only because it's self-defense, because you can go hunting, you can go to do
Sport, sure.
Sport.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's so
Recreation,
many
sure.
reasons, but at the same time, when you go sporting or you go to hunting, you're probably gonna find some other people doing the same thing, and then the way that you handle it is gonna define and avoid accidents. So many accidents happen because people have a lack of knowledge, and we have to. We are here, and that's the reason we're gonna open the mics in next show, so we're gonna hear about it. Also, we have a Instagram where you guys can, write any concern or anything.
Yeah,
that
send us
you
questions on Facebook, Instagram.
You have Instagram too for iProtect, right?
Yeah, so for iProtect, we have Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, we have the website, and Facebook. So the best way to follow us is through Instagram. That's where you'll stay current.
Right.
And, you can do that through there as well. Let me give you the address for where we do our training. So our nonprofit is iProtect USA, but the program that we're teaching is called Unlimited Tactical Solutions. And that's going to be held within Miami Airsoft. And the address there is 7810 Northwest 98th Street, and it's in Hialeah. So it's right off the Palmetto on 103rd Street for those that know the area.
Yeah, y en Instagram ellos
right
pueden
behind the
conseguir
Christmas
también.
market.
And they can get the times and dates and the programs there. They can stay current with us. But let me go back to something that Gigi said really quick about carrying in certain places, because I carry in a bag too. I have children, and there's sometimes that I don't carry on my person, my body, so I'll carry it in a bag. I don't push away, I don't negate where people carry. Wherever you're going to carry, just like personalities, we need to now maximize, optimize your response, drawing from there if necessary, because that's where you're going to carry from. So we can't ignore that. And all you have to do is go online. You'll see that there are occasions where people are drawing from their bags and they're being successful. There's some, in looking to optimize, there's different ways you can carry, different tools you can carry. There's alternates to guns that you can carry or not carry. And something that you brought up earlier, Tony, about maybe being trained with the gun but not having it that day. You mentioned that as well. Right. We also cover how to disarm if you're presented. Let's say a bad guy comes and he has a gun and you do not, or your gun is concealed. If you try to race for your concealed gun and his has already been presented, who's going to win that race?
Not you. Not
we
you.
already know because we've tested it, right?
We've tested it.
And so there's going to have to be some empty hand technique leading up to the handgun. We also cover rifle disarming and retention, just like with the gun, retention and disarming. You have to know these craft. When the moment of truth arrives, the time for training has passed. That means you have to train. There's no way around it. If you're hoping that you'll be able to jump or to bring out your marksmanship posture while he's moving and shooting, we've tested it. Right. In the laboratory, it's undeniable. So you can come out and you can talk about what your experience has been, what your belief system is, what you have faith in. But in the end, if you're not testing it, you're not myth busting. You're operating off theory. And that's okay as a starting point. But your life and your family's life are dependent on knowing, not believing, knowing. Those are two different things. Yeah. And so you need to come out and know. You need to come out and experience it. And I think that's where we're headed as an organism, our group, our tribe is headed in a direction where we already know through the pressure test in a controlled environment how to now take our skill set, our knowledge base, and go to the range and train where you guys are training with live fire, with Archangel. And I hope you're going to have him later on in your show, because he's another wizard, and you need to have him out here as well. And I'm sure you guys are. But I want to thank Ark. He's not here right now, but I want to thank him for the last time we all got together.
Right.
The network that we have here is huge, where you can do live fire training, you could do simunition training, because we have Sim 2. It's going to cost you a little bit more.
If you want to pay for it.
If you want to pay for it, we have it for you.
We can do it.
And the UTM, and we have CTU, where you can go there, and they have a whole series of digital training with projectors and computers, and you can do all of that at CTU with Tony and Damien and Marco are out there. And all of these facets of training are available to you if you come out to visit us at Unlimited Tactical Solutions with iProtect USA, or you can come out to any one of the NRA instructors. One of the cool things about having the guys here is each of them is an NRA instructor. So if we're looking for a professional standard, you have it here. And now we're expanding on all of these things, and that's the beauty about it.
Thank you for mentioning it. Thank you. And then going back to Gigi, I wanted to ask you about. She's our sponsor today as a New York Life, her company. I wanted to ask you, what is your recommendation in order to have gun fight, and at the same time, how you mix all that with the insurance? Because you told me something about yesterday when we were talking, and you asked me, what are you going to talk about?
Because at the same way that you're responsible with saving your life with carrying a gun or knowing defensive tactics, you also need to be responsible with your family and the dependents that they will dejar atrás en caso de que el plan A no funcione, plan A.
If the plan A doesn't work,
if plan A doesn't work, you need to have plan B.
Right.
Plan B is life insurance, because you will protect your income if you're a father of family. If you are the only income in that house and something happened to you, then what happens to your kids or your wife? They need to keep the same lifestyle that they have. Why they have to suffer more? They will suffer with something happened to you with your dad, and they will suffer because they won't have the same style of life. The mother will have to go to have 2 jobs. Maybe the kids will have to go to work too,
But you also told me that it's not only life insurance. You have some other products that you can offer in order to, because sometimes you're never going to be, you're not going to be dead on plan A fails, but you can work, let's say that. So you have another plans like a retirement.
We have retirement, we have long-term care. Annuities, so you can protect your finance when you're old. You won't live longer than your income.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Well, that's me, Gigi Mahfouz from New York Life, our sponsor, and thank you for being here for sponsor our
Thank you
our program.
for having me here.
And I want to go now again with Damien, because
you're coming back to me.
Yeah, I'm going back to you because you have I love the way that you are as a father, as well you are, Jason.
Thank you.
I know that you are 90%, even when you're working, training, your family is in your mind. Same to you, as I see you with your son going everywhere. So what is the best age to teach your kids and being responsible with the gun? Because the reason why I bring this out is because I see that many accidents happen when kids have curiosity and they never handle a gun, or similar thing happen. They know where the guns are, they take the guns. So safety is not, handling the gun is not handling yourself, it's how you safety, storage, move, and teach your family or your son. So I wanted to hear about that, because your son is only 10 years old.
Right,
and he have a rifle?
Yes.
I mean, he doesn't own a rifle,
no.
But I see him shooting with a rifle.
Right.
With the gun. So I wanted to know, what is in your opinion, the best age, and why you do it so early?
Well, I can't say the best age. Being a parent, you'll know. You'll know. You'll see, you'll know, because in this day and age, the video games they play from 5 years old, Fortnite, Call of Duty, Apex, all these games my son said before, that's what they are first-person shooting games. So what happens when you get a 8-year-old and he sees a gun on the ground? What do you think his first reaction is?
He's going to think about the game.
He's going to think about the game, pick it up, point it at somebody, and he might even pull the trigger. Now, what if that gun is loaded? Who he might be pointing? He might be pointing at his little sister, a friend. So that's why I say in this day and age, you can't say a specific age. I started with my son 7, 8 years old. Why? Because I have weapons. So what do I say? What's the best thing? The best thing would be for you to have an educated and kid that understands the safety of a gun than have one that picks it up and thinks video game. So my son can see a gun. He can be with his friends out in the street and he see a gun. First thing he's going to think, that gun is loaded.
Right.
Now, from that point on, he can unload it, take the magazine out, take the gun, the round that's in the chamber out, and make sure that gun is safe for everybody else outside of himself. Because just because he knows it's loaded, it's either, he has two choices. He can make it safe for everybody depending on who he's with. If he's with family, he knows, hey, I know.
That's a great point.
He knows for himself, I know how to make sure it's safe. Or if he's around people he doesn't know, he knows it's time for me to leave.
Right. So he can identify somebody's using their guns, the firearms in the right way or not.
Exactly.
So he can go away with that dangerous situation or environment and save his life. Or he can tell
Right.
and avoid it. I don't think that he can take
He can avoid a very tragic situation. Or if he's around kids that may be older than him and understanding safety, he can see where they're being unsafe. And you know what? It's time for me to leave. Dad, I had to leave from over there. That's what he say. Dad, I had to go. They were pointing a gun everywhere. He would say, Dad, I had to go.
And Gigi, you have a daughter, sons. How old are they?
19 and 23.
And you think that they
should know that they would know what to do.
right?
They need to take some classes. I want to take them now because they are. My daughter won't touch it, and my son maybe would do like Damien said.
Right.
Because it's attractive for them. and
What about your husband?
My husband, he's from Europe, so he doesn't like guns. Because he's afraid of it. He doesn't like to. He likes gun, but not in the house because he doesn't. He's not prepared. He doesn't have the classes, the instruction. He doesn't know what to do with a gun.
And
That's
what
why
the
he
show's
doesn't
for.
like it. That's why he doesn't like
But
it.
that's why we're here for the
Yeah.
facts and myths.
Yes.
To give people a better understanding, because a lot of people are scared for something they don't even know, and a lot of times it's not even right. They'll be wrong about what they feel about a gun, and they're afraid of it, and they're totally wrong. So,
Yeah, it's something that I was thinking is, most of the people think, they're, what we're trying to teach actually, and sorry, let me refresh a little bit my ideas,
right.
is that you have to be left you don't have to be afraid of the gun, but you have to keep the respect.
Sure.
Exactly.
Most of the people, they have fear when they see the gun, and we have how many scenarios Jason, or you, Marco? So that people see somebody with a gun and they panic because they have lack of knowledge again.
Sure.
But if they know how to use it, they know the guy's acting responsible, then they're gonna become more, calm, more aware that everything is fine. And if they see that it's doing it the wrong way, they're also gonna take the decision that your son's is taking. They're gonna run away or they're gonna act and avoid something happening.
But for them to know that somebody's doing it the wrong way, they got to know the right way.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm glad that you brought it up the way you brought it up. You have to feel out the person, because we already see that in training where there are some adults
That carry guns.
who have been carrying for a long time.
Yes.
And in training, they're doing all kinds of weird things where, there's the potential for danger. They're muzzling each other, handling the gun strange ways, but that's part of our program, right? To make them responsible with that. One of the cool things about the training that we do and who is present is for those, and we have some that come in where they'll come in with an ego.
Right.
Yeah.
But the pressure testing breaks that down and gives them a little dose of reality. And we don't usually have that problem to deal with because it's been brought out. You know, we'll have.
There's always one.
There's always one.
There's always one.
Yeah, and
they'll
we see it all the time.
they'll
Yeah.
come out
Always one.
and they'll be humbled, and while all of that is happening, that's not our job is to break that person down. But one of the beauties about the training is it brings that out, and it showcases the growth that everybody else has developed, and the promise that they can also rise to that level, regardless of whatever experiences they bring in. You know, one of the things that I hope to do is to teach you how to think, not what to think. I don't prescribe anything to you. Just like you won't hear me give you absolutes. You guys hear me say that all the time. I'm not going to tell you yes, no, always, never. You're going to have to figure it out because on game day, you're going to be there alone. I'm not going to be there.
And this is not like you say an instruction that you have to follow.
Sure.
Everything is going to depend on the situation, the personality, the environment, the
Right.
fact. You know that day anything can happen, right, Marco? What do you think?
Te lo voy a decir en español.
Dímelo en español.
Porque
Say
ya
it in
estuvimos un
Spanish.
poquito en inglés. Es
Go ahead.
completamente diferente. Incluso dependiendo de tu personalidad. Por ejemplo, yo intento, según me dicen, proteger a todos.
Yeah, you're always protecting. Yes, that's your
I
personality.
told you. Polar
Hay
bear.
veces que digo, especialmente cuando está Dee al frente mío, vuela, corre, porque yo sé que la otra vez intentó poner aquí de
Oh my
y esa noche no
God!
puedo.
You gotta put your signature on it.
Oh, man.
That's-
Sorry about
that's-
that. I apologize. I apologize.
No apologies. It's like I told Jason yesterday, without noticing, I told him, thank you for killing me. But why? Because if he kills me on the training, on game day, I know what I shouldn't be doing.
Right, right. And that's what happened with me. I mean, we were going at it, and they shot me once or twice, and I was like, hold on, let me compress everything now, because I got to do a little better. See, it's not like going up against somebody who hasn't been there or just started. It was Jason, so now I have to say, hold on, let me better myself, and let me stop giving him stuff that I could give to somebody else. You understand? You start to understand. I'm doing something wrong, and that's what the pain penalty does.
Right.
It makes you tell yourself, I just got hit. I got hit again. I got hit again. You know what? I'm doing something wrong. Now, if you don't take it upon yourself to say, I got hit and I'm doing something wrong, which we have a lot of people say, oh, I didn't get hit. I didn't get hit. No, I didn't get hit at all.
Yeah, but they
cheat
lie.
yourself.
Yes, exactly.
You're cheating yourself.
Sure.
You're cheating yourself because you can only get better by trying to make yourself better. Nobody there is going to make you better by saying you come and you give 2 hours and you're going to be better.
Yeah,
And you don't want to be better.
But let me tell you, even if they're cheating on themselves, they're learning.
Sure.
Because next time they're not gonna, they're gonna avoid all that situation.
Es la única forma que te das cuenta, porque tú piensas que lo estás haciendo bien, hasta que te llega la balita a la cabeza y dices, oh no, me estaba mirando alguien que yo no estaba viendo.
Amen.
Te das cuenta de
¿Te
que
das cuenta?
no estás en la posición que tienes que estar y tú pensabas que sí.
And
Y
next
te vas
time,
aprendiendo.
next time you're gonna avoid that, right?
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always opportunities for learning.
I don't know why Jason is laughing. I see him just smile.
No, you know, it's funny because I'm sitting here and I want to express my appreciation to you as well, Gigi. But how you brought these three together here and how you guys are helping us all along, because it's a lot of work to try to do alone, and where you're able to come out here and facilitate this exposure to what we're doing. That's a big deal. We don't see a team like that here in South Florida, where you guys have the time and the resources to come together and to allow us this platform so that we can help others. One of the things that I tell the students as well is on game day. When we say game day, when we're training, we're talking about event day. Okay.
The real situation.
The
When
real
it's happening.
situation. Because when you look at professional athletes, they're training before, during, and after. They have a pre-game, game, and post-game. And that's how we need to be training. But when we're talking about that, in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, I may not be there It may be one of you at the mall with my family, at a school function, in the courthouse, on the street. It may be a common area. It may be one of you. Or maybe we're together at some function and I get hurt. I'm injured. I'm unable to defend my family one day. It's good to see that we're finally getting to the point that we can work towards making responsible defenders.
Right.
You know, whether you're armed or unarmed, whether we're talking about awareness, avoidance, an action plan, all of these things are important. And that these are the things that you're going to see here. And we only have, a limited time to discuss these things here. Guys, you need to come out to training. You need to come and experience this. If you feel that you have so much experience that you don't need it, come out and pressure test yourself. You don't have to become a committed student like most of our people.
Yeah, come test yourself.
Come test yourself. And
I would love it. I would love it.
Damien will
We have a lot of volunteers.
I heard that you have to also have I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say I love when people come in and think they know a lot. and the reason I love it is because I came in knowing not what I thought I knew. So now when people come in, I know it. Let's go to the arena. I got nothing to say till we get to the arena.
And it's an opportunity. It's not an ego test.
No,
it's an opportunity to share what we've learned, and that's a big deal. That's why I surround myself with the pride of lions. I don't need ego-driven resistance. And if you come in with an ego, and people tend to resist wanting to train with you. That's not what we have in our group. And we're here to share. We're here to grow each other. Because if I'm aligned with people that are growing, it forces me to also grow. It forces me to become better at my craft, as you all. And so I just wanted to tell you guys that I appreciate what you've done together.
Well, we're almost done, but before we go on, I just wanted you let people know how to contact you, Gigi, also yourself. So we have one more minute to say.
Okay, so my name is Jason Rodriguez, and the best way to get me is iprotect@live.com. That's going to be my email. Or you can locate us at 7810 Northwest 98th Street in Hialeah. We train every Tuesday from 7 to 9. You can walk in. You can come in with whatever level of experience you have. And you can call as well. And I'll get you that number in a second. Go ahead, Gigi, you want to jump in? Or?
Yeah, Gigi, go ahead.
Sí, buenas noches. Como ya hemos dicho, soy Gigi Mafuz. Trabajo con New York Life. Mi teléfono es el 786-781-4007, 786-781-4007. You can call me at that number. I will be here to listen to you, listen what are your needs, and we can get a nice meeting y hablar sobre todo lo que te preocupe y conseguirte pues una solución adecuada a tus necesidades. Gracias.
Jason, the number?
786-471-8727. 786-417-8727.
And before we leave, I just want to say something that, as an NRA instructor, we always say, and the 3 golden rules for safety. Never put your finger in the trigger unless you're ready to shoot. Treat every gun as it's loaded. And the third is never point anything that you're not willing to destroy. So thank you for being here, Jason. Thank you, Gigi.
Thank you.
Marco, Damien, and
See
thank you very much
next
for
week.
You guys.
Next
Next week.
And thank you to Pangea FM, CTU, I Protect USA, New York Life. Remember, we have the first laser training system in South Florida.
Oh yeah, that's pass by and check it out. Send us your concerns to the Instagram, and thank you very much.
Oh, don't forget to come see us at the gun show, March 21st, 22nd. Miramar show, the Miramar show.
All right, thank you very much. Okay.